A really good question here. Any tips on how to deal with butterflies in your stomach before your first outreach? Do you want to say this,
For
Lucy?
sure. What helps me is like, okay, I had this, it's very dumb, but especially when I began doing outreach, I like now it's not as bad as it used to be. It's still like butterflies it's not pleasant. It's horrible. I hate it. I almost shit myself every time. But especially in the beginning, it was like terror, like the first 50 conversations or 30 conversations. And so what I would do is that I had this quote. It's kind of hilarious because it's from Harry Potter, but it's powerful. It helps. It's like a Dumbledore or something. Like it's like there comes a time when all of us have to choose between what is right and what is easy, and that would pump me up every time. That really helps.
That's a good one.
So having quotes can be very helpful. I'm not sure it works for all people, but to me it works very well. So having like examples of people that you admire, for example, people in the animal liberation front or activists you really like, knowing like that bravery is a choice. There's no bravery without fear, and just try to emulate the vision of yourself that you want to be. Like, I want to be a person who is doing things for the animals, and I want to be part of this wave to help them, and like look up to people you admire that can be. Just remember you're not alone, especially that can help. Like when you're standing in the street with your little sign, it can be helpful to like kind of remember everybody else that's doing that, because it does feel lonely. Like it feels like you're like, oh, alone against the world, but you really aren't. And no, it's going to be very uncomfortable. It's part of it, and you have to see whether it's worth it or not. You know, like, is it worth it to actually fucking liberate trillions of animals every year and to end this horrific paradigm? I think it is worth a lot of discomfort and a lot of fear. So it's just going to be, you have to accept that it's going to be fucking hard, especially in the beginning, but that's okay. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that it's not working. And it doesn't mean that you're going to do a bad job. And even if you do a bad job, you just do better next time.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I just want to add that you go out there, you can film yourself, and I urge you to film yourself doing these conversations, but you don't have to publish this conversation, right? If you're not happy with them, you don't have to publish them. You can and the people that you meet on that street will be strangers. You may never meet those people your entire life. So even if you end up doing bad outreach, doesn't really matter, right? It's at the end of the day, you tried and you get better the next time. Maybe you watch the video yourself and you get better the next time. And on top of that, you don't even have to do more than one conversation. You can go there if you feel comfortable with one. Then the next day maybe do one. Maybe in 2 days do two if you can. I don't know, like however you feel comfortable. But I feel like it's just a little bit. It's going outside of your comfort zone, which you kind of have to do that. But then I also want to add that once you do it, it does feel good to go outside of your comfort zone, even if the conversations will get intense sometimes, and even if it's not the best, it does feel good. Yeah, you're proud. You're proud of yourself because it's not easy to go outside of your comfort zone. It is really outside of your comfort zone. To put a camera on the street, to film yourself, to have conversations with people about the subject that they're the most reluctant to. It's like it's one of the hardest things we do, right? It's insane. It's hard. So
Yeah, and also like all you can do is your best, and that's all we're asking you to do. That's all you should ever ask yourself to do. You just try your hardest. All you can do that is possible, and you will be better. You will get better. And it is, like even if you feel like you made even if you might feel that a conversation you had made it worse in terms of like you might feel like it backfired or something like that. Who knows, it might be true, but the thing is, it's always better that you failed, that you didn't try, that if you didn't try, because you will get better and then you will have better conversations. And if you hadn't failed, you wouldn't have learned what you needed to learn. So, and to get better for the animals, and then you would have stopped, it would have done nothing for the animals, would have just been worse. So it's just, you just have to do it. And also, something else I wanted to say about that. Yeah, something that calms me down is that at the end of the day, even if people perceive you to be the devil because of their ego, you literally just trying to help other animals. You're just trying to stop atrocities. You're just trying to talk with these people to try to convince them for like 10 or fucking 45 minutes, whatever it is. You're doing nothing wrong. You're just trying to help. And the reason why you're filming it is because you want to help more. You want to just be more helpful. this is not a nefarious thing or where you're trying to bring people down to bring people down. It's not that. So you should really not be so really, I mean, you should not. It helps me to be like, it's not that deep. It's a conversation to try to convince them to not harm other animals in the exploitation way.
Yeah, and if it's your first time doing outreach, I think it really helps to go with the like first time to go like with groups like With the Free or AV, because they have like methodologies kind of set in place. Like AV has a clear methodology which helps out with your. A lot of the times, I feel like my first fear when doing outreach was just what will I say? Oh, what if I won't know enough or stuff like that? But if you go with just like some methodologies that you literally just follow step by step, then there's not a lot you can do wrong. You're just basically following a methodology and replying. And in time, you kind of learn why this methodology works. You kind of learn why this works and that works. And you kind of, you shape it towards your personality and stuff. So
having group activism is crucial to the movement. That's why, like, if you can't found a chapter of With the Free or AV, whatever, just do it, because that's how we're gonna have new activists most likely. It's much easier. And someone says practice makes perfect. Yeah, practice makes better and better. Not perfect, because we're not gonna be perfect, and it's not possible really to. It's not a good expectation to have, because it's not gonna happen. But it's okay. You get more comfortable, and then you don't have to think so hard and concentrate so hard, because when you have a new method, it's very bumpy and you screw up a lot and it's very awkward and you're very embarrassed and stuff. But then it just becomes second nature. The more you do it, the more you just know what to do next and you're used to it. And it's kind of like you don't even have to think so much about it. So it will get easier and easier. And so the beginning is the hardest part. Just know it will get easier and better.
yeah, and also like I feel like if you're with a group, it's also you have a conversation, whether good or bad, and then you can go have a conversation with a fellow activist and say, I had this horrible conversation, I had this good conversation, or whatever, and it feels good, it's you're sharing, and the share part of the at AV they kind of discourage you in doing that, but they still allow it. Like I have never seen people not allowing you to have conversations about the conversation. So
yeah, having support from other activists, like just having people talking to talk to about these things is important. And like remember, like because I regret so much not having done activism earlier in my life, and I will always feel guilty about that and like crappy about that. But like just know that it's something. It's like a motivational tip that people use in motivational circles and stuff. But like at the end of your life, on your deathbed, when you look back, will you be happy that you arrived at death safely, or will you be, will you be happy that you actually did your damn hardest to actually help the animals and to shift this paradigm as much as possible? And you will have to let's say, fully live, like the guy said, because you did your best. You did it, your best.
I want to live. I want to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.